This is a free download of the FM104 Phone Show, Ireland's #1 late night radio show with Adrian Kennedy.
Next on the programme tonight, we got an email and we have another reason for talking about it, and it is this from Lindsay. Well, a text actually we got on Friday night. Boys, it's horrible being a woman sometimes. Every day, random guys on the street say sexual things to you and think it's okay. I do you, I tap that. All cause I'm big, also because I'm big chested, I get lovely tits. The other day, coming out of the gym, in my gym leggings, I got told by two lads, you've a savage hoop. What makes lads think they can say shit like that? And that's from a lady called Lindsay. And I'd like to hear from you on this. 6797104 is our telephone number. Does Lindsay have a point? It's horrible being a woman. It's now got the official title of street harassment. And we want to know, are people just overreacting here to be describing it as street harassment? 6797104 is our telephone number. Jill, is it horrible being a woman sometimes?
No, it's not horrible being a woman sometimes. I think that's a very, very dramatic thing for Lindsay to say. I'm 31 years of age. Now, it hasn't happened to me for a few years, but if it did, I would take it as an absolute compliment that a guy, would still notice me. Like, I have a boyfriend, but I mean, like, I would take it as a compliment,
You take it as a compliment. You'd be flattered if somebody said that to you.
Yeah.
So if somebody was to shout out at you, you've lovely tits, love.
Thanks very much.
Really?
Yeah, I take it as a compliment that I still look this good at 31.
You'd be delighted with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And you've a savage hoop, love.
I don't even know what a hoop is, but okay.
I think it's your arse.
All right. Oh, thanks very much again.
Would that put a spring in your step?
It wouldn't put a spring on my step, but I take it as a compliment that, I still get noticed. That kind of way.
And when you hear this now having an official title, street harassment is what it's being described as. Do you think that's ridiculously over the top?
I really do think that's ridiculously over the top, and I just think it's ridiculous.
So it wouldn't bother you at all. So a girl like Lindsay, who's basically saying what gives men the right to say stuff like this, are they stuck up their own arses, basically?
I think that, just ignore it, Who cares if someone shouts something at? Just ignore it, Just keep walking, ignore it.
But for you to put a smile on your face?
If you don't like it, ignore it. If you do, great.
Okay, but for you to put a nice smile on your face?
It would. I would take it as a compliment.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797104 is our telephone number. She would take it as a compliment. Shona, you're on FM104. How are you, Shona?
Hi.
Now, Shona, you're 15.
Yeah.
And this happens to you every day.
Like, literally, when I'm really developed, so it happens to me a lot.
And does it creep you out? I assume some of the men who are shouting stuff at you are older men, are they?
Yeah, they're proper old. Some of them are 40 and stuff, and it's kind of weird.
And they're shouting, what sort of things would they shout at you?
No, they'd be whistling and stuff like that. But I've also been groped.
You've been groped?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit more serious now.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's just really strange.
Now, groped in what way? Somebody just feeling you up?
Yeah, just randomly, out of nowhere. I was literally walking home in my school uniform, and it happened to me.
Oh, that's not good. And have you done anything about it?
No.
Yeah, so that's taken it to another level again.
Yeah.
Jill, that's not right, is it?
No, once it goes past, kind of shouting at someone, groping is totally wrong. I don't agree with that. If someone did that to me, I'd hit them with a slap.
Yeah, and they'd well deserve it.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, no, that's totally wrong. I don't agree with that now.
And but regularly, Shona, you get all sorts of sexual comments made at you.
Yeah, it's grand sometimes for when they're younger, but not the old ones.
See, that's where it gets a bit creepy, Jill. When comments are being shouted out at a 15-year-old young one. Now, okay, she says she's well developed and whatever for her age, but still, she's 15. That's the fact of it.
Yeah, no, I take your point there about if it's young, but for me it's different because I'm a lot older. But Yeah, if it's a young person being, whistled at or like shouted at by an older person, yes, that would be a bit creepy.
Yeah, it sounds it all right.
Yeah, no, but for me, as I said, personally, because I'm a bit older, I would personally take it as a compliment, but, that's me.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797104 is our telephone number. James, you've heard Jill here saying that she loves it. If somebody shouts out, you've gorgeous tits or you've a gorgeous arse or whistles at her or whatever, it's going to put a spring in her step. She'll be as happy as Larry. What do you think of that?
So, I don't know, weird. Every few weeks you come up with mad stories about this, right? But listen to me, right? That girl, that's probably is like not confident with herself, and then a gang of fucking scumbags start turning around and holding like, look at the arse on you, look at the tits on you. Oh, I do what I do with you and all that. She might, in her weird little way, think that's a compliment. But I get it. What I rang in for the first time was about, you're not going to get these scumbags that is on his own, just standing at a Lewis, turn around and say to a girl on her own, hey, oh, by the way, get your tits out. That's creepy. Now, you're not going to get him on his own saying that because that's the likes of Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy and all. But you see these scumbags, they're always in little packs, little groups going around harassing people at Lewis stops and getting buses in and out of the inner city, and they're all going around. And, you have to be careful with these people because if any girl out there takes that as a compliment...
And why do you think that Jill is letting the side down by saying she'd take it as a compliment?
Yeah, because she's vulnerable, and when she makes any remark, as in like, oh, do you think that really, and starts talking to them, they'll just laugh at her, and then she becomes a victim.
Well, there you go, Jill. You become a victim. Oh, sorry, you there, Jill?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on. Yep.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't actually turn around to someone and start talking to them. I just listen to it and then walk on by. I wouldn't start talking to them.
But he's basically saying you're letting down the side of women by even acknowledging it, or even instead of turning around and saying piss off.
Just because I don't know. No, I don't agree with that at all. Like, I don't agree with that at all.
Adrian, she's wrong. There's people out there listening there. Adrian, can you hear me?
I'm listening to your every word.
Adrian, there's people out there who are girls who are listening to your phone show, and she's saying she first of all took that as a compliment. But then what happens when she, gives them the fluttering the eyelids and all? They men take up signals the wrong way, and it's always the wrong way. But there's people listening to your show tonight that have done what she's not done, and they've ended up in a bad state, and it's always because them scumbags who they're predators again, and they always prey on people like her who say, oh, I take that as a compliment. Get your tits out, look at her, I do her. Like, she's letting the side down 100%, and there's people listening to the show who are afraid to ring up and are afraid to contact the guards about these scumbags going around the city on patrol, just taking advantage of all vulnerable people. And I guarantee the women who were attacked or who was done against them never had a fella beside them. They always pray. It's simple, and to go flattering with them and flirt with them. It's a big vicious circle, and it's always the single women who are the victims.
Well, there you go. I mean, you believe that this it's been described as street harassment, making sexual comments at women, sexual comments at women. You think that women shouldn't put up with this. Women should turn around and say, piss off. James.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. I've been with a couple of different incidents on the Lewis and whatever, not at the pay point thing, yeah?
Well, somebody shouting out compliments at you?
No, not with me, but when I've been with lads and they've made comments coming out of the nightclub on Abbey Street there, and I've met one or two times an incident, a girl had actually turned down and slapped one of the lads as well, and none of the fellas did nothing. And everybody just backed off and kind of calmed him down and says, no, you shouldn't have said that to a girl. But I think the women should step up to the plate and start smacking the shit out of the fellas who do that, because...
Could you ever see yourself doing that, Jill? Telling lads to piss off, don't... Well, let me ask you, has it ever happened to you?
Yeah, when I was a bit younger. Just a little bit younger.
Oh, you feeling a bit left out now?
I am, yeah.
But as a young one, you loved it.
Well, like, not as young as 15, like, you know. But,
No, 15's a bit much now, in fairness.
yeah, it is a bit much. No, like, in my 20s, it had happened to me a few times. And, like, I wouldn't react, as in, like, I wouldn't start talking to them. You know, I'd just keep walking, but, you know, I just kind of say to myself, oh, it's nice to still get noticed or whatever, you know what I mean?
John, you're on FM104. How are you, John?
How you doing, Adrian?
Grand, John. Now, what do you want to say on this?
Just in relation to this, what you're talking about, I think you say, what is it, 80% of women have been victim at one time or another of this?
According to what we were reading today, yeah, 80%.
Right, I think, first of all, I think most girls that would take that kind of a situation as a compliment would probably be very young girls. They'd be probably in their late teens or early 20s. They'd be probably very impressionable girls, number one, who would be just, you know, all excited at being given such a compliment, because I think that it's very, very important it's very important at any age to be given a compliment, but particularly when you're between, you know, the ages of about 16 and 24, 25, when you're at your most vulnerable, or not at your most vulnerable, when you're at your most impressionable, and you're at your most, you know, it really looks, let's be honest, it's a very image-orientated age. I think they're probably the age group of girls that are probably most likely going to be taking that kind of a comment as a compliment. Second of all, I think the type of male that's going to make that type of compliment would also be in that age bracket as well. And now I know there's I know to a large degree men never grow up, and well, to a large extent this is actually true, but I mean, I think a guy that's going to walk down the street and turn around and say, Jesus, the arse off, Jesus, the arse on that, or whatever, is going to be a very young guy, let's be honest. I mean, I've often seen, so have you, I've often seen a girl walking down the street and I've thought, the arse on that, because I love a nice arse, there's nothing like that. But I'm not going to say...
And do you think women are mad? Like, you've heard Jill saying she takes it as a compliment.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Jill on the other line here has said she takes it as a compliment. She thinks it's quite flattering to be told you've lovely tits or whatever. It doesn't bother her in the slightest.
Yeah, but I mean, as I say, I would imagine the majority, maybe I'm wrong, but I would imagine the majority of girls that would find a comment like, Jesus, you have a lovely arse, or Jesus, you have a lovely tits, by some bloke she doesn't even know walking down the street, would probably be more than not be a very young girl.
But you're not a young girl, Jill, no?
No.
Well, you're not now one, but you're not a kid either.
No, we're not.
Yeah, well, let's be honest, she's only 31. I mean, somebody who is that bit older would be probably, because they're that bit more mature, and I'm not suggesting she's not mature, but somebody who's that little bit older, an older woman is probably more likely not to take that specific kind of comment particularly well. I mean, let's be honest, if you want to compliment a woman, there are ways of doing it and there are ways of not doing it.
Okay, would you ever shout out randomly, you've lovely tits, or that's a lovely arse you have?
Well, I'm an ass man.
Well, if it's a girl walking near you and she's an absolutely gorgeous arse...
I would think it, but I certainly wouldn't say it. No, I wouldn't, no.
Okay, it's only a certain type of person that will ever say something like that.
I didn't say that, Adrian. I said there's a certain, as far as I'm concerned, there's a certain age group that are likely to say it, and there's a certain age group that are likely to find it, to take it as a compliment. That kind of a comment.
All right, stay there for 1 second. Sarah, you're on FM104. How are you, Sarah?
Hi.
Now, Sarah, you've heard Jill here saying that she loves it. It doesn't bother her in the slightest if somebody even says to her, oh, they're lovely tits you've got, love.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have a massive problem with it. I just kind of think it's a bit disrespectful, like, slightly. But, like, I was walking home from college one day and, like, I was shouted at by these group of lads in a car. They basically said, oh, you do, or you get it.
Yeah, which is exactly what happened to that Lindsay girl. She, I do you.
Yeah, something like you'd get it, or you get it in, you have great legs, or something like that. They shouted it out. Like, I didn't get, like, I wasn't annoyed by it, but I just think there's no need for it, like.
There's no need for it?
Yeah, it's kind of immature, and it's like, why would you shout that at somebody? You know?
But did it not? And I mean, Jill, one of the reasons we rang you in the first place is you basically said women need to kind of lighten up here. It's ridiculous referring to the women as victims. It's not doing them any harm.
Not doing them any harm. It's like, what is saying something to somebody doing? Like, you can choose to listen to it or you can choose to ignore it, you know? You have the choice.
But it's kind of just objectifying women, I think. It's kind of like just treating them as objects rather than people. I think when you're shouting things like that at people, it's not very respectful. Just like it's bad reflection on the person who's saying it, really, I think.
Well, in fairness, like, blokes are always going to do that. As I said, you can choose to ignore it or you can choose to listen to it. It's up to you, you know? I don't think it's going to stop. I don't think it's ever going to stop, you know? It just depends on the person you are yourself.
Like one time, I don't know if it's relevant, but one time I was walking in a nightclub and this guy full on like groped me in behind, so I turned around and smacked him in the face.
You see, I think Jill agrees. That's totally different. That is totally different.
Definitely.
I think that can escalate if the guys think they can get away with shouting sexual.
Yeah,
things.
so if they get away with shouting at girls, you have lovely tits, and the girls going, "Oh, thanks very much, thank you," then they think they can go that one step further.
Yeah, and that's what happened to me, and it's disgusting. It's so degrading. So I turned around and I smacked him. And
no, I think he deserved a smack. I'm sure you'd agree, Jill. He deserved a smack.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, I mean, if that ever happened to me, you know, some guy would shout something at me, like, I don't turn around and react to it, you know? I don't kind of start turning around going, oh yeah, thanks very much.
I wouldn't react to somebody like shouting at me, but like obviously I'm just
it's totally different if it's groping. Yeah, God, I'd hit someone a slap. I get my boyfriend to hit someone a slap if they trust me, you know?
I just think like if they can get away with that, they might think they can get away with other things as well. I just kind of think I don't know. It's just very degrading to women, I think.
Okay, so are they right to put an actual title on it? Street harassment?
Well, like, yeah. Well,
or is that not blowing this all out of proportion?
If you're being shouted at, like, and if it's about you, I mean, they have no right to shout about you, you know, on the street. I don't think anyone has the right to shout about anybody on the street.
Okay, so you find it quite intimidating then, do you?
Well, like, if you're by yourself, you don't really know what to do, and it's kind of, you know, it's embarrassing. Like, you don't really know. If you're with your friends, maybe it's not too bad, but, like, yeah, it is kind of intimidating.
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797104 is our telephone number. As a matter of interest, Sarah, what age are you?
I'm 21.
You're 21. John, are you still there?
I am, yeah.
Well, there you are. She finds it a little bit intimidating.
I'm quite sure she does, yes, but my point was that, look, there's the exception to every rule in life. The only point I was trying to make was that I think the overwhelming majority of girls, and I am talking about girls who are Adrian, that would probably find that complimentary. That specific type of comment, you know, you have a lovely arse, you have a lovely hoop, you have a lovely tits. I don't know, I haven't got a clue. I'm obviously getting really old because I haven't got a fucking clue what a hoop is. But I think they would be probably very, very young. Yeah, they'd be kids between 18 and 25. We're essentially talking about kids.
Oh, thank you.
Aidan, you're on FM104. How are you, Aidan?
Hello, Adrian.
Now, Aidan, you reckon that a lot of women bring this on themselves. What do you mean by that?
I was just saying, like, if they don't want lads to notice in comments, just cover up a bit more. Because most of them go around skin tight shit, so you see their arse and stuff like.
Sarah, what?
Revealing.
Sorry, say that again, Sarah?
I wasn't wearing anything revealing when I was shouted at. I was literally wearing like shorts and tights, and then like a hoodie. I wasn't wearing anything revealing at all. And I wasn't
so the point being, Aidan, that a lot of women just, you know, no matter what they're wearing, they get this stuff shouted at them. So it's not necessarily down to the clothes that they're wearing. But you reckon that is part of the problem here, do you?
Yeah, it could be.
That's like saying women deserve to be raped if they wear like revealing clothes.
That's
That's
different.
not. Like,
No one deserves that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you can't. It's just because if you're wearing a short dress doesn't mean it should be shouted at. Doesn't mean it justify it. I don't think.
I don't think you should be getting shouted at, like.
But do you think it's complimentary, John, or Aidan, for a woman to have comments made at her like that? Have you ever done it yourself?
No.
You've never done it yourself.
It's untasteful, maybe, but
Yeah, it's complimentary, but I mean, I don't know. It's not nice to be shouted at on the street, really.
It's not nice to be shouted at.
No. Well, if you're by yourself, as I said, it's a bit intimidating.
Now, I've spoken to you heard Jill saying it would put a spring in her step. Would you not think to yourself, Jesus, at least somebody still, there's lads out there who still fancy me?
Okay, yeah, at a certain level, I was like, okay, well, that's kind of a compliment, I guess. But, like, I don't know. I just don't like being shouted at on the street.
Okay, but Aidan, you reckon a lot of women actually bring this on themselves? If they're being shouted at in the street, if they're having comments made at them, it's because they're wearing practically nothing.
well, 90% of women I see walking up and down, like, they don't leave much to the imagination. So
it's small wonder that they're getting comments made at them.
yeah.
Well, I wasn't, so that's...
All right, but stay there for 1 second. Samantha, you're on FM104. How are you, Samantha?
How are you, Adrian? How are you?
Grand, thanks, Samantha. Now, what did you want to say on this? You think women bring this on themselves?
I do, yeah. I think women dress like that and all on purpose when they know, like, that they're going down on a road, like a busy road, just for fellas to shout. So, like, women, they're just looking for attention. They love it, they do. And the girls getting on complaining, like, they love it. They're only attention seekers.
They're only attention seekers. Do you ever get men shouting at you?
Yeah, I do, yeah. But it makes you laugh or off. Like, why would you take that in the chin? Like, well, like, I wouldn't dress with skin-tight clothes and everything on me, you know what I mean? But, like, these girls that walk down the road, they're, like, in a tiny pair of leggings, like, in a tiny top and all. They're walking down just for a reaction now, fellas. Like, you know they are.
Right, so you think that women bring it on themselves, and what by what they're wearing? I mean, are you agreeing with what Aidan is saying there?
Yeah, I do. I agree with what he's saying, yeah. I do agree with what
That
he's saying.
if you're wearing practically nothing, it's no wonder men are shouting at you, you dope.
Yeah, exactly. No wonder, like, you're walking on a main road and all these fellas are driving by, like, and you're wearing nothing, like, put more clothes on, like, I can see it, no one will say nothing to you. Like, I don't get it. Like, girls are complaining, but yet they're walking around and less than nothing, like, obviously they're looking for attention.
All right, but stay there for 1 second. Victoria, you're on FM104. How are you, Victoria?
Hi. Yeah, no, it's just, I find it really irritating when I hear especially a man come on and say it's what we wear that, facilitates this intimidating behaviour when it's nothing to do with that. The people that say it have a bad attitude and think it's okay to say what they want to us. Especially me, I've had it done so many times where it's not just words. If I turn around and say something like in retaliation, they come out with these like, oh, I can do what I want. Or even worse, vulgar statements like, I'll rape you, I'll destroy you.
You haven't had somebody say that to you, have you?
Where I come from, it's normal. So
it's normal?
It is normal. It will happen.
To say to a woman, I'd rape you?
Yeah, it's slang apparently, harmless banter.
Really? Well, I wouldn't class that as harmless banter by any stretch of the imagination.
No, me either. That's why I would be the type of person now that would turn around and say, I don't appreciate that, so...
Okay, but what the examples that we got from Lindsay in her message on Friday were, I do you.
Yeah, that'd be the PG terms, but sometimes it gets so much worse, especially if you come out from a nightclub, for instance.
Now, what Samantha is saying is this all comes down to what women are wearing. It's no wonder women are getting comments. That's what you're saying, Samantha?
Yeah, there is what I'm saying. Like, there's no wonder. And huge people get on, like, and say, oh, it's like, you can wear what you want. You can't wear what you want. Like, when you're walking down the street and you're dressing, like, provocatively and all, like, obviously...
Oh, no, I wouldn't go with that now. Since it happens to me now, and it would happen to me quite regularly, and I would class myself as a lady who would wear dresses probably to my ankles and never show off anything. So explain that to me then.
Dresses to your ankles, go on, love, go away out of that. Go away out of that.
I wish I was joking, but when you come across it so often, you take the necessary precautions. And
your necessary precautions are being choosy over what you wear?
I wouldn't wear that. Even when I go out, I wouldn't wear the slutty type of clothing. No way.
And do you still get comments?
I would still get comments. I would get, your average ones like nice ass or something, a little slap on the arse as you're going around.
But you must be gorgeous, are you?
No.
And they slap you on your arse. They slap you on your arse.
They would. Actually, I had a situation where I had to actually repeatedly slap someone off me. So.
You must be friends with Dad. You're living in dreamland, you are. I'd say that
I wish you were right, to be honest.
And all the fellows laugh at you. I doubt that they... Do you know what I'd say? I'd say they're taking a piss out of you when they are down it. When they are,
You know what? I wouldn't even mind if they were, because at the end of the day, whether they are mocking me or doing it out of lust or whatever, it is still not acceptable. I still don't accept it, and I still think it's wrong, no matter what way you look at it.
Okay, so it is not acceptable under any circumstances for a bloke to shout at you anything about you and how you look and your appearance and your body and everything else.
Fair place to. If my boyfriend wants to come over to me and say that I look pretty, that's fine. He's supposed to say it. I don't need strangers to come up to me and tell me how they think I look. Whether they're calling me ugly or whether they're calling me pretty, I don't need it.
But do you reckon, Samantha, that she has to be doing something to warrant this, do you?
Yes, she does, or else she's living in dreamland. Like, these fellas are obviously taking the piss out of her. But I guarantee no fella driving a car that tries to buy a girl with a long dress on shouts out a window. Like, they just don't do it. Like, they just wouldn't.
They genuinely do. They genuinely do.
Yeah, I think you're living in dream world, love. You're living in dream world.
I think you may be the one living in dream world if you actually are so ignorant to this kind of behaviour going on.
Ignorant, I'm ignorant. You're a fool, you are. They're ripping the piss out of you. They're wearing a long dress and they're driving by. They're ripping the piss out of you, love. They're not complimenting you.
And do you think it's okay even if they are mocking me then? And you're okay with that, being a woman in this world? Do you think that's okay? I genuinely feel sorry for you.
It's funny. I think it's funny if they're ripping the piss out of you. I do think it's funny. But I think the girls that are genuinely getting these comments off the guys, they're dressing up deliberately for it and they're just looking for attention.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's fair. Now, I have been physically attacked before and I did not wear anything to facilitate it in no way, shape, means or form. And I may not be the prettiest person going around, but they still come over to me and they will still be very forceful with me. I don't think that's fine. And the harmful banter they put on the street
obviously give me the impression that you're just an angel. Like.
Well, that's fine. That's your opinion.
It's not really fine if you're giving away.
And let me ask you, Victoria, when was the last time something like this happened to you?
Probably when I was out in Dublin a few weeks back.
A few weeks back in Dublin. And what was said to you?
Just, someone grabbed my arse as I was walking by them. And that was it. Nothing said, just that. And I just walked on. I wasn't really in the mood to be getting into an argument with someone. I'm not in the stature to defend myself.
All right, stay there for a second. Larry, you're on FM104. How are you, Larry?
How's it going, Adrian?
Grand, thanks, Larry. You're agreeing with what the other people are saying. You're going to get comments like that if you're dressing in that way.
Definitely. I'd just like to say, a woman there that sounds a bit posh, she sounds like she's like something out of the Blair Witch Project going around having long dresses and all.
But she's still... Yeah, but your point is obviously about the way these women are dressing. She's saying she wears long dresses and she gets comments thrown at her.
Well, she must have some arse that sticks out then if she's getting it smacked.
What kind of arse, in your way of speaking, do I have to have for it to be okay then? No matter what way I look, it's not okay.
Curtain hanging down over you, eh?
No, I just wear the normal dresses that normal ladies wear.
Normal ladies? I don't know. Well, most girls around Dublin now are all, like,
Maybe it's because I'm not from Dublin. Maybe where I come from, like, women dress like ladies.
You're a breeding, you're a culture then.
I am a culture. I'm proud of it.
You are all 30 years behind us anyway.
And thank God for that then, because at least we carry ourselves better.
And let me ask you, Larry, do you ever shout out comments at women? Have you ever?
You'd have to, the usual, get them off you. You know, that kind of stuff, like.
You could tell from his accent anyway.
What do you mean by that?
You can tell, he's not even talking to me or anybody else on the radio in any kind of respectful manner. So
you've no respect for women, Larry?
Well, they have to earn the respect. If they're going around with their fucking arses hanging out, like they're going to get what they ask for.
What do they ask for?
Go around with your shirt off in summer, that's okay.
You can say inappropriate comments if they're looking inappropriate. That's the way I'd look at it.
No, you can't. What gives you the divine right?
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, and freedom of speech accounts for if you're actually being threatening or inappropriate in your way. That is not right. That is not what it consists.
Threatening, like.
Well, you don't know how that could affect that girl you're saying that to. She could go home and think, God, what is wrong with me? And that really affected me.
Not really. She's going to be going home thinking to herself, I've got the X Factor.
No, she's not. She's going to be thinking some scumbag decided it was okay to talk to me like that, and now I feel shit about myself.
Not really, like, it's only a compliment,
It's not.
And you obviously believe, Larry, that a lot of young ones who are dressed with little to the imagination love getting compliments, do they?
They do. Little dampers, Adrian, little dampers.
Little dampers, Victoria.
I actually, just frustrates me so much.
Why, do you know what that even means, no?
No, everything else he's saying, to be honest, I just think it's just ridiculous.
It's only because I'm a dub I know what you're even shiting on about, Larry. Juanita, you're on FM104. How are you, Juanita?
Hi, how are you?
Grand, thanks, Juanita. Now, it's Larry you wanted to talk to, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a figure to wear skimpy clothes, but I do have big breasts.
Right.
And I get stares the whole time and stupid comments from blokes, so it's got nothing to do with what you wear.
His point is, and in fact, I have another guy I'm about to go to saying that women bring this on themselves.
Okay, well, how do I bring it on myself? I'm covered up and I'm still, as I said, I don't have a figure to wear skimpy clothes.
Well, now, there you go, Larry. This woman doesn't have a figure for skimpy clothes, but she's got big boobs, and Victoria's wearing big, long dresses, and both of them get it.
Well, now, in fairness, if someone's going around here one day with the big boobs and just saying nice jabs or whatever, that's all right. It's not, as long as they don't go around.
What makes that all right? It's not all right.
It's a compliment.
If I see a lad bulging in his trousers, I don't say to him, like, nice package.
Would you have a problem? Would you rather someone say to you nice paps or droopy paps? You know what I mean?
Well, why say anything at all? You don't know me.
It's a compliment, you know what I mean? Just take the compliment in your stride.
It's not.
How is it not?
It's vulgar, to be honest with you, for a lad like that you don't even know to even comment on your body. It's got nothing to do with him.
Yeah, but like, you know, that could be leading on to the next thing, you know. One minute you're saying nice paps, the next minute you're buying them a drink, next minute you have the paps in your face.
How about having a conversation with them, buying them a drink? You don't have to go on about their boobs or their arse or...
Well, you're hardly going to talk about bleeding them, are they?
So let me ask you, Juanita, if you were in the same room as Larry, and Larry happened to say, what's it you'd say to her, Larry?
Which one is Juanita now?
Juanita's the one with the big boobs.
Oh, yeah, how's it going, Babs?
Of course.
And that'd really annoy you, would it?
Yeah, it would. He just did annoy me, actually.
Would you want to smack him across the face?
Yeah, I would.
See that, Adrian? She's even having a little giggle there, Adrian. She loves it already.
No, I don't have it. I'd probably knee into it.
Look at the big smile there on your face. Look at that big smile.
If I was in a nightclub, I guarantee you'd be on your fucking knees because you'd be after kneeing you into the bollocks fire.
Any excuse to touch me, bollocks.
Hang on there for a second. Wendy, you're on FM104. How are you, Wendy?
Hi, Adrian. How are you?
I'm grand, thanks, Wendy. Now, it's Larry you're annoyed at as well.
Yeah, he's a complete fucking Amadon. And I'm sorry for the language, but he's absolutely stereotypical of the type of guy who has to act up because he hasn't got the intelligence to get a girl.
There you are, Larry.
Well, that's after knocking 7 shades of shite out of me.
Do you hear him there? Like
that was a bit harsh now.
He probably has about 5 of his big mates there beside him and they're laughing it up. No girl in her right mind. Any one of us girls that rang in now, not one of us would touch off him.
But what I've heard from other girls, Wendy, is that they actually love it, and that Larry isn't really bullshitting here. That a lot of young women, if Larry went up and said, "Jeez, they're a fine set of baps" or whatever, a lot of girls would go, Jesus, thanks very much, thanks. No, and he's actually, the fact of the matter is, Wendy, that he's right.
Yeah, no, he is right, and he is right of the stereotype that is the type of Amadon that he is. But most girls, most women, like I'm pregnant now, I'm 4 months pregnant, and I've had an arsehole like him do the exact same thing. In a pub, feel me up. Before, like I was only just pregnant. I don't
even think Larry is agreeing with feeling somebody up, are you, Larry?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that I'd never go near a pregnant bird because they're obviously too fat.
Right? A lot of you are going to say that on the radio, but like in fairness now, you sound really aggressive with the way you talk to women.
He sounds like a dickhead.
He sounds like he sounds like a complete arsehole. Not one of us women, I guarantee you, if Adrian asked every one of us, not one of us would go near you because you're such a fucking Amadon. You haven't got how to speak to women properly with respect. Women want respect. They don't want to be ogled over like that. And
you see, this is where, Wendy, I have to be honest with you, I have to disagree with you on his behalf. And the reason I say that is, I know that there are, because I've seen it myself, I know there are young ones who would love it if Larry said, "Oh, look at the hoop on you, love, you're gorgeous," or "Look at the tits on you, you're massive." Am I right, Larry?
Spot on, Adrian. Spot on.
A lot of young ones actually like it.
Can I
Spot
ask
on.
you, Adrian?
You see those two girls, Adrian? Those two girls are only the minority. Majority of the girls out in town and all, they all love it. Can't get enough of it.
Can I ask that fool how old he is?
Well, that's a very personal question.
How old are you?
Old enough to know.
That women's body parts is very personal, you muppet.
Yeah, exactly. How old are you, you fucking fool? How old are you?
Jesus.
There you go. He's there with his big mates. They're having it like, oh, do you know, it's just ridiculous. He's not taking it.
Okay, but let me read a text. In fact, see if we can get Leanne there. And the text says about you, Larry. I'd go out with him, Adrian. He sounds like great crack. They'd all want to get back to mass or something. They're living in the 60s, says Leanne. Well, Wendy, you're living in the 60s.
Oh, yeah. I'm an atheist, for one thing.
Right.
And second of all, feminism doesn't mean that you're in the 60s. It means you want a bit of respect from the man that you choose to be with. And
you're not going to want to be with Larry anyway.
No, he's a complete arsehole. He has 2 brain cells in there, and I think one has gone on vacation. He's a complete utter asshole. Seriously. How old are you, Larry?
Well, firstly, I'd just like to say I'm actually a very nice guy.
How old are you? You've seen fit to tell women what size their boobs are and how amazing their hoop looks. Tell us now, it's a personal question. What age are you?
I'm mid-20s. Well, more towards early than mid, I suppose.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? Apparently, you're supposed to be a man now. You can vote. So it's about time you started growing up and acting like a man.
You obviously think this is just... Larry, you obviously think this is just having the buzz, having the crack.
Yeah, if somebody obviously said to you, here, get away from me, don't be saying that to me, I wouldn't say it, but like, it's a bit of a conversation start, you know, out in the smoking area or something. No, backs on you, love, something like that.
And does it get a conversation going, or does it get you a dig?
I know, you get a cheeky little smile. Depends now, you know, it depends on the girl. And sometimes you would have to raise the hands and dodge, you know, a bit of Muhammad Ali dodging, but other than that, like, you can walk it free.
So you think there's just one big joke?
And text from Anne. Anne, I take grave exception to that text. I'm not even going to read it out, but I take grave exception to your text. Seriously, I don't know what you can possibly attribute your text to. Ciara, you're on FM104. How are you, Ciara?
Hi, hello.
Grand, thanks, Ciara. Now, what did you want to say on this?
Yeah, I just think, like, in Dublin these days, there's a lot of girls going around wearing, like, pretty much, not like nothing, but really skimpy kind of things that, say, I'd wear, like, in my house, but I wouldn't wear out in the street, and, like kind of like, I wear under a skirt or things like that.
Well, in fact, just as you're mentioning it, on Saturday just gone, I saw one girl with literally her arse cheeks hanging out of her short shorts, and they were very, very short shorts, and another girl was walking up the stairs in front of me with no knickers on and a very, very short skirt. And the point being that, yes, a lot of women do wear very revealing clothing, but does that mean men are entitled to say stuff like that to them?
Well, to be honest, like, yeah, sort of, because, I mean, they're going out dressed like that. What do you expect? Like, if I went out like that, I would expect people to shout at me. Definitely. I'd expect more than what people are saying.
Mind you, you've heard from Juanita here and from... Wendy, do you ever get stuff shouted... Okay, you're pregnant at the moment, but have you ever had stuff shouted at you?
I've been out and I've actually had a guy shout at me in the club, and then him and his friend came over. One held me in the front by the chest, and the other one put his hand up my
well, you see, that's just bang out of order.
Well, that's definitely not.
I mean, that's... that. To be honest with you, Wendy, that's not even what we're talking about. No.
What I'm saying, Adrian, is it's a fine line between where they're being so aggressive when they're talking to you like that and shouting at you, to the point that they get even more drunk then, or, like, obviously I'm talking about a club situation. But they get so drunk and so fixed up with their mates that then they feel brave enough to come over and do that.
Would you, Larry? You wouldn't carry on like that now, would you?
No, that's just bang out of order. Now there's a fine line between banter and being a pervert. Now,
that's
I wouldn't be into that. Like,
that's exactly what I'm saying.
That's not what I'm saying. Like, it's a difference between going over and shoving your hands up something where it's not supposed to go, and, like, you know, just saying the baps on you or the bum on you. Like, there's a big difference there. Like,
I'm glad that brain cell is finally activated anyway.
But that's all he said all along. He hasn't said he goes and he walks up to... He never said anything of the sort.
Adrian, can I just say something as well?
Yeah, go on, Wendy, yeah.
On one of the points you made there, I was in the Jervis Centre the other day shopping, and there was a girl there, and all she was wearing was literally tights and a jumper.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about there. Did you hear that? Yeah, that's exactly.
These girls are 17 and 18 years of age. Their arse is hanging out of the jumper. Apparently it's a dress.
That's what I mean.
She was pushing a buggy as well. We were just astounded. I was with my friend, a guy, and he just couldn't believe it.
But do girls like that bring it on themselves then, Wendy?
Yes.
I wouldn't go so far. I still don't believe a man has the right to aggressively shout at a girl. But I do think they don't help themselves by going out dressed like that.
She's just contradicting herself there, Adrian, if we're being honest about it.
I am not at all contradicting myself.
One minute you're saying it's bang out of order, the next minute you're saying girls bring it on themselves.
Activate that brain cell again, Larry, will you? If you listen to what I said properly, I said girls who go out dressed like that are not helping themselves, but they still do not deserve to be shouted at aggressively by some Omadon with one brain cell.
Here, can I just say something? Can I just say something?
Yes, go on, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I really do think that girls who dress like that, you know what you said there about wearing tights with a top going out, you know, walking around duns or something. I do think that they should be shouted at because I think they need to cop on and put some clothes on and stop making the rest of. They're making other women and girls look like fucking Egypts. You know what I mean?
Like shouted at in a sexual manner, though. I do agree with you. They should be shouted at and told to cop the fuck on. But not in a sexual manner. I don't think that helps it at all.
But it screams sex because they can see their parts. It's all just hanging out. So I mean, I don't know.
It's awful looking. It's horrendous looking.
And it does make us all look bad.
Well, let me read this text from Charlene, Wendy, and she says, "I'm a girl, and my honest opinion is, act like a slut, get treated like a slut. If a girl wants respect, she should act respectably." And I'm assuming she's talking about the way in which she dresses as well.
I agree with that to a certain point. I don't believe that if you go out, you shouldn't wear, if you want to wear a dress that has a low hung top or whatever you call it, cleavage, I don't believe that you should be the target of men and their macho bullshit. But at the same time, I do agree that you shouldn't go out wearing no underwear and you shouldn't go out wearing just tights and a little top. Do you know what I mean? So
let's forget that you're pregnant right now, okay?
Yeah.
And you're out and Larry and a group of his mates are standing kind of close to you and they start buzzing off you, as lads do, yeah? And out of nowhere he says, "Oh, that's some gorgeous arse you have, love," or whatever he'd say. I don't know how you'd put it, Larry. How would you put it?
Obviously the truth on you.
I don't know. Well, Adrian, I'm not trying to be bad or anything here, but my hands are freezing and I have to go in. So
all right, go on. But anyway, if he were to buzz off you saying something like that, what would you say?
I wouldn't have any interest in it, to be honest.
No, I'm not saying that you necessarily have interest in him, but would you be disgusted? Would you be horrified?
No,
would you storm out of the place?
I'd never give them that type of stupid reaction because that's what they want. They're kids, you know.
No, he's not a kid.
No, I mean, in their heads, they are like kids, right? They're not right in the head, so...
Okay, well, hang on there for 1 second, because, Tina, you think people like Larry, and there are many Larrys around, are just a bit of crack?
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
So are people like Juanita and Wendy just getting wound up over nothing?
Yeah, literally, because at the end of the day, if you're a young girl and you're dressing like a slut, you're going to get treated like a slut, as that other one said in her text.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily even what we're talking about. We've talked to women who don't dress like sluts at all, like Juanita, who said she hasn't got a great figure, but she's big boobs, and she often gets it.
Oh, but that's... Like,
do you know what I mean? She's not dressing like a slut.
Everywhere you go. Like, if you wear a nice top and you dress nice, you're going to get nice compliments, you know?
But they're not compliments, though. Not when when a person doesn't want to be spoken to like that. And just because the girl is top-heavy, she has to expect to be spoken to like that when she goes out, even if she's dressed respectably. That's not right.
All right, a couple of your texts. I've been to a teenage disco and I was dressed in a dress. It was just above my knees and two fellas came over and pulled down the top part of my dress and pulled up the bottom part of my dress. I'm 13 years old. That's shocking, that is. That is just shocking. And maybe, Wendy, taking it a little bit more seriously, maybe this is where this is coming from. Lads need to know that there are boundaries and you don't cross them. 13 years of age.
Yeah, because I have a 14-year-old son myself, and you have to teach them respect from day one. Like, that whole page, I know that's not what you're talking about, but the likes of page 3 and all of that sort of stuff, that doesn't help that at all, you know what I mean? Women are seen as sexual objects, and that is not the way children should be raised.
All right, appreciate the call, Wendy. Thanks very much indeed. But Tina, I mean, like I said, if you take it to the more serious level of that text, are you still there, Tina? Oh no, she's gone as well. All right, thanks very much indeed for all of your calls. A couple of your texts. I'm male and I've had things said to me on the street, positive and negative. People are more judgmental, I've noticed, on the streets of Dublin these days, says Jay. Your eyes are where your brain is. Why would AK say a lack of a young lady's I don't know what that means. Sorry about it. I was out walking the dog with my girlfriend and a group of scumbags, only 16 or 17, started shouting lots of stuff like, I'll do you this way, do you that way to her. She did well to calm me or I would have murdered the lot of them. And if a girl went out in see-through tights and no pants and some fella was staring them out of it, could she say, what the F are they staring at? Asks Joe. And one last one. Rose says, I feel a lot of these women take life far too seriously. I think Larry is just having a laugh. Life is too short. Anyway, I love the comments and I'm no way slutty either, says Rose. All right, thank you very much indeed for all of your calls, comments, texts and opinions. This is Adrian Kennedy with FM104's Phone Show.